I'm Lila, a 45-year-old who had given up on marriage. I married Keith, who I met after turning 40, and a year ago we opened a bar. I met my husband Keith at a bar I just happened to stop by at. From that time, Keith was visiting various places in preparation for opening our own bar. He said he fell in love with me at first sight because of my hearty drinking style. For the first time, I thought it was good to be a heavy drinker. We started dating and got married in 6 months. Both of us being adults, we didn't have much conflict and are still on good terms. Thanks to our good relationship, we've gained a lot of regular customers. The bar is doing well, and I'd like to say we have no worries, but the problem is my brother Oswald and his wife Kristen, who live nearby, coming to our bar. Every day they come by, and it's really annoying.
Thanks for the free meal. Oh, I'm stuffed. But hey, cook faster next time and bring it over quickly.
Oswald, chewing on a toothpick, said this as he ate with Kristen, who suddenly blurted out, "This is Ray, our son. He's a troublemaker, so you raise him," she said, bringing the nephew they brought along in front of us.
"See ya, and don't come back, Ray. We'll send your stuff over to their place."
Ray was teary-eyed. Understandable, since he's only 10. "What the heck? Ray's just 10. Are you abandoning your child?" I asked, and Kristen sighed, laughing as she answered. "Well, Ray doesn't listen and acts like a punk. I'm pregnant with a second child, so we're giving away the defective one, the real bad product." What a thing to say in front of her own child. Before I could get angry, Keith spoke up.
"All right, Ray. From today, I'm your dad. Come here."
This is why I fell for Keith, his straightforwardness. I also turned to Ray. "All right, and I'm happy to say I'm your mom now. Come here." Soon after, we legally adopted him, and Ray became our child. With Keith's advice, we paid Oswald and Kristen $10,000 along with the formal paperwork. This was to prevent any future troubles with the biological parents. 10 years passed and Ray turned 20. Since then, we banned Oswald and Kristen from our shop and home, so we didn't know each other's whereabouts. Our business flourished, and we even owned multiple stores. That day, as the shop settled down, the door opened.
"Whoa, you guys are thriving. You're like celebrities,"
Oswald said as he walked in. Kristen, appearing from behind, spotted Ray and immediately called out, "Hey, Ray, we're going home. Come on." I was dumbfounded. Did they have no common sense? But Ray calmly said, "This is my home. My parents are here and you guys should leave." He continued working without looking at them. Ray was working at this bar. "What are you talking about? Your home is our apartment." "No, that's messed up. The adoption was finalized 10 years ago." Do they not remember? I continued. "You abandoned Ray, calling him a bad kid, but it was just because of you. He's actually a great, honest kid." Ray had been a bad kid, but changed after meeting someone in middle school. He had many conflicts with his friends then, but now they support him. He graduated high school and went to vocational school. It was a culinary school. "I'm determined to carry on Dad's flavors," he would say. The last 10 years were tough, but I have no regrets. I'm proud to have become his real parent. Oswald and Kristen, after abandoning him, now claim they've come to take him back. Unforgivable.
"What do you mean? We're Ray's biological parents. We can do what we want with Ray."
"How many times do we have to tell you he's officially our son now?" Oswald stunned.
"No way. That's invalid, Ray. That was a promise made 10 years ago."
"It's not just a verbal promise. Legally, we're his parents." I showed them the adoption papers I had stored by the register in the event something like this ever happened, complete with proof of payment. As he took them, Oswald smirked and tore the paper.
"There, now it's invalid. You fell for my plan."
"I thought you might do that. That's a copy. I wouldn't give you the original." Shaken, Oswald said,
"What? Talking back to your brother like that?"
"You should be grateful we came to pick you up."
Ray, not looking at them, said, "No, I didn't ask for this, so why should I be grateful? My parents are, well, Lila's my mom and Keith's my dad." While blushing. I felt like crying, but now wasn't the time. I'll have him say it again later. Is it even okay for you to be here at this hour? Didn't you say 10 years ago that you were pregnant with a second child? Who's taking care of him or her now? I had a bad feeling, but Kristen replied,
That kid turned bad too. Probably out playing with friends now.
Unbelievable. No love for your own children? I end up speaking in a strong tone.
So we came to take Ray back, thinking of swapping the kids. You guys can raise our second child, right? Cool with you?
These people are unfit for parenting. Ray's an adult now, so it's up to him. But let us take the other child too.
Really? Okay. This time it's $50K.
I couldn't believe how disgusting my brother's words were, as if he was only after the money, probably planning to snatch Ray's earnings. Then, unexpectedly, I'll pay the money, please take my brother too. Dad, sorry for the trouble, Ray said. And so, we adopted his brother too. Keith initially offered to pay the $50K. Dad, this is my responsibility, please let me handle it as a man. And he refused. Keith respected Ray's decision as an adult. The brother Kay was more of a handful than Ray. At 10, he stayed out late and didn't trust adults. With Ray's former friend's help, Ray turned out great, but raising another troubled child at this age was hard. Yet we respected Ray's wishes. A year later, the police visited our bar, saying there was a report of us kidnapping children. They came to check due to the nature of the complaint. Our regular customers defended us, saying it was unbelievable. We proved our innocence, and the police left quickly. Oswald and Kristen got a scolding from them. They deserved it for such a nuisance. Lately, the bar's been bustling thanks to Ray and Kay. In the middle of this, such harassment was truly bothersome. While writing the day's report after closing, the door opened. Shoot, I forgot to lock it. I had a bad feeling. Oswald came straight over.
Whoa, you're making even more money, thanks to our sons, right?
How did you find that out? They're none of your business now. Kristen let out a sigh.
Can you believe Kay has over 10K followers on his streaming videos? We're taking him back today.
That's not it. The videos of Ray and Kay cooking are popular because of their skills, not thanks to you. As Kristen looked for her sons, she continued.
I gave birth to handsome boys. It's thanks to me. If you don't comply, we have plans. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Then they left and the brothers came out. What are they planning? Maybe we should make them understand with force. No, I'll handle it, Ray. The brothers discussed. Keith, standing behind them, tapped their shoulders. The two looked back.
You're our children now. Don't cross any boundaries.
They reluctantly obeyed, but Oswald and Kristen escalated their harassment. Our online reviews were tampered with. It was likely Oswald. That bar uses expired ingredients, or they hire bad guys to intimidate customers, were among the accusations. Some comments refuted them, but the issue wasn't settled. We received many prank calls and group cancellations. Such petty harassment was really troublesome. After enduring this for half a year, Oswald and Kristen came by.
Hey, aren't you going to close the shop? So stubborn.
These were their first words. Utterly frustrating.
Give back our sons already. They're good money.
You both still haven't changed, huh? This was all you guys, right? Oswald replied jokingly as always.
What are you talking about? Just give them back.
The boys are not objects. Go home now. Oswald handed over a paper saying something outrageous.
We're opening a bar, and they're going to work for us.
The paper was a loan agreement and a business plan. I wondered if any bank would lend on such a flimsy plan. Oswald, where did you borrow this money from? Isn't this risky?
It's fine. Ray can pay if anything goes wrong.
The lender was clearly shady, with bizarre interest rates. The situation would cause trouble for Ray and Kay.
It seems as though the online impact is huge. A friend of mine canceled after seeing the reviews.
No wonder we hardly got new customers. It's you guys causing trouble. Kristen feigned ignorance.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no proof. Maybe the health department will come next. If you don't want that, why don't you help with the financing?
Now they're even resorting to threats. I should have recorded this conversation. The situation will surely affect Ray and Kay. Though I'm not familiar with social media, I'm sure they're trolling their streaming activities too. We won't let anything interfere with Ray and Kay's activities. but proving anonymous actions as theirs is difficult. These are such convenient times for bad guys, too. Justice only prevails in movies and fiction.
Today we brought someone with us. Come in.
A man with a fake smile appeared behind Oswald and Kristen, his eyes not laughing. He's not a normal person. Definitely not just a troublemaker.
Hello, I'm Robbie. I'm the one who financed this.
Clearly, he wants to ensure his money is repaid. Robbie, smiling, surveyed the bar, probably checking for security cameras. He's more experienced than Kristen. After checking the cameras, he made a veiled threat.
We just want the money back. Can you bring your sons as guarantors?
Ray and Kay, once delinquents, were trembling in the back. It's natural to be scared. I resolved to protect them when suddenly... Hold on. Keith, who had been quietly listening, spoke up.
First, Robbie, my sons aren't guarantors, so collect the debt from Oswald. What? Are you mocking us? Do you know who we're working for?
Keith removed his apron and replied. Yeah, I know. Jonathan, right? Doesn't he know about me? Robbie's face turned pale as he stared at Keith.
Are you the Keith who used to be on par with Jonathan?
Everyone was shocked. We couldn't imagine gentle Keith being involved in such a past. I can't believe that such a kind person was once a delinquent. Later, I learned he wasn't really a troublemaker. He just became known for defending himself from the bad guys. Still, he had contributed to peace in the area, resolving conflicts of others. Robbie's face lit up with admiration. Hey, Robbie, connect me to Jonathan. Robbie hurriedly made the call, and Keith turned on the speakerphone.
Hey, Robbie, what took you so long?
Hey, Jonathan, you still doing this kind of stuff? After a pause, Jonathan replied.
Oh, whoa, is that you, Keith? Why are you on Robbie's phone?
I'm dealing with this Oswald issue. He's my wife's brother. Jonathan sighed.
I'll take a step back for you, Keith.
No, just remove the guarantors and keep the interest within legal limits. Oswald and Kristen paled with relief.
Jonathan, quit this business. If you start a normal job, let's have a meal. All right, I'll consider it. Time to move on.
The call ended. Next, Oswald and you. I filed a disclosure request.
How can you do that with anonymous actions?
Keith calmly placed several papers on the table. Laws change. Disclosure requests are easier now.
You should have remembered you registered on public Wi-Fi and not your cell phone.
Oswald realized his mistake. Kristen blurted out in panic.
Oswald, you idiot. I told you to be careful. I was smart using overseas servers.
Realizing her slip-up, but defiant, she scoffed.
There's no proof. Being caught here doesn't matter.
Then Robbie tapped Kristen's shoulder, pointing up. The security camera caught everything, and Kristen's eyes met the cameras.
Keith, Lila, I'm sorry for everything. I'm leaving now. Sorry to you too. Ray and Kay, I'll just go.
With that, they left. Perhaps losing their backup, Oswald abandoned his wife and fled to the restroom, only to return with a mop. He then smashed the security camera.
Now there's no evidence. Serves you right.
However, Ray played his final card. Too bad. This whole thing was live-streamed on Kay's channel. Dad told us not to film Robbie, so we only shot you two. That was what Robbie had mentioned earlier. I was surprised by Keith's foresight. The screen Ray and Kay showed displayed the damaged shop and Oswald. Kay then spoke.
Thousands of people watch my broadcast. It may seem fake, but I won't stop. These are our biological parents. We became delinquents because of them.
Indeed, I knew their story. Oswald and Kristen rarely came home and didn't pay for school, leading Kay to truancy. It was the same reason Ray became a delinquent. Anyone in their situation would struggle to grow up right. When we took them in, they were thin and haggard. They cried when we first fed them. It's heartbreaking that not all children get such basic care. Tearfully, Kay confronted them. When I was abandoned for being a delinquent, Ray, Dad, especially Mom, saved me. I consider her my real mom. Ray always brags, Mom and Dad are our real parents. Hey, you don't have to mention everything. Ray blushed. We never knew he felt that way, and I was moved to tears. Keith was crying hard. Anyway, we're cutting ties completely. I hope you get caught. If you disturb Mom, Dad, or Kay again, we won't hold back. Then Oswald's phone rang. Apparently, his boss saw the broadcast and was furious. Oswald was apologizing. Kristen's phone was ringing nonstop too. She sat down in despair. We filed charges for property damage, defamation, and business interference. Ultimately, Jonathan settled the payments in full as a settlement. He did this to ensure he'd get his loaned money back, as arrest would hinder repayment. Maybe arrest would have been better for them. Oswald got fired for abuse exposure, and Kristen, shunned by friends who saw Kay's broadcast, lost all her close relationships. The influencer power was frightening. With no one else, they turned to Jonathan. They were set far out in the countryside for hard labor, likely until retirement. A bad choice of reliance. Keith said, "Jonathan's unforgiving as an enemy, but reliable as a comrade. He probably sent them far as a favor to us. I'll invite him to our shop." That's what he said. Jonathan was selective, dealing legally except with such trashy people. Not that it justifies his actions, but he helped us. Our son's channel became famous after the broadcast, spreading their story of brotherly love. Both of them being handsome, they attracted fans to our shop. Their old delinquent friends, inspired by the broadcast, have become better people and now visit or work at our bar. The area became safe, with all the delinquents gone. They found purpose through work, no longer needing to be delinquents. Ray became the main shop's manager and some of his friends, managers of branches. Our shop became known nationwide. It's a reminder to ponder why someone becomes a delinquent, understanding their reasons. You realize they're just like us at birth. Today, Keith and I work alongside everyone once again.